Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Picking Up the Pieces. If I look like I ran a marathon, I did. I just was out playing with the girls and lost track of time and had to run home, literally. But I'm here. Sorry, I'm late. I want to talk about unfamiliar changes as we are navigating the grief and healing process. I was on a podcast earlier this morning and I was talking about unfamiliar changes in my journey and how I was doing things that were unfamiliar to myself and how it wasn't just my family and friends who were saying, this isn't like you. This is outside of your character. This is unfamiliar. It was also unfamiliar to me. And that's okay. You need to do what feels right. Healing is about figuring out things that decrease pain, what makes things a little bit more comfortable, a little bit less painful. Does this bring you any bit of relaxation? Does this increase any feelings of peace, comfort? I'm not talking about joy or happiness. I'm talking about, does this relieve any stress? Does this take it down a notch? Does this help you breathe? Does this help you feel a little bit more okay today? Does this help you? Does this help you at all? Are there things that make you feel worse? Are there things that make it harder to breathe? This is a simple way to make decisions because decisions are so difficult and we can complicate that. We can make it harder than it already is. And so I made my categories very, very easy. Do these things make me feel better or worse? Do these things bring me a little bit of comfort or a little bit of pain, right? Do these things bring me up or down? And that can be how you make your decisions. Do these things make me feel better or worse? It can be that simple. We don't have to make it any harder than that, especially in the early stages. I focused on the basics, and I'm talking about staying hydrated, nutrition, and I am not talking about full meals. I'm talking about setting an alarm to have a little Dixie cup, those little baby cups that they have at the dentist that you rinse your mouth out and spit when you're getting your teeth cleaned. Have a little cup of water and have a couple of nuts, a bite of a banana, a bite of an apple to get yourself and your body into the routines of eating and drinking. Okay. Other people are going to say this is outrageous. How can you not sit down and have a full meal? I'm talking about getting yourself back in the habit of tolerating food, of getting hydrated, of figuring out what you can and can't do, right? If music makes you feel worse, music, which is one of my absolute favorite things in the world, but music made me feel worse because I could not hear a song without sobbing. I could not get in the car and put on the radio and go somewhere without breaking down sobbing and having to pull over. Truth. Music made me feel worse for a very long time. Now I can listen to music and dance and be the way I was silly Sam, the Sam that Jim absolutely loves watching and like standing over there and watching me be a goofball. I can do that now. It's 5.5 years almost later. What makes you feel better and what makes you feel worse? It can be that simple. There are things that are unfamiliar. I wanted to be just with Sassy, by myself with Sassy in nature where it was quiet versus being around a crowd of people at a football game. Being at a football game is my favorite thing. I couldn't do it yet. That's okay. We have to recognize that made me feel worse. Seeing everybody happy and cheering and hugging and drinking and having so much fun while I was miserable and destroyed and devastated and figuring out how to get through life without my person right here was too much for me at that point in time. Couldn't do that. Wanted to be in places that were soothing for me, which was nature and by water and looking at the trees and listening to the birds. That was unfamiliar, not only to my family and friends, but also to me. It is okay. It made me feel better. Football games made me feel worse. That's how I can explain it to other people. This is how I love life, but currently it's making me feel worse. These things are not making me feel worse. They're making me feel a little bit better. It is unfamiliar to you and me, but right now it's making me not feel worse. Can we do things over here for right now? It doesn't have to be any more complicated of a conversation than that. And there are other things that you might have loved doing that you can get back to. They might just take time. Reading is another thing. It's something I love. I'm doing it again. It took me time. I couldn't read a sentence and understand what I had read. I had to adapt and listen to books on tape for a long while. There are ways to make adjustments. There are things that just take some time. There are things you might not get back to, but finding the things that you do that do make you feel better. And how can you figure that out? Trial and error. It doesn't have to be going to things that you don't enjoy or things that make you feel worse. For me, I experimented with things that made me feel better. I did not go anywhere near the things that made me go, I'm not ready for that. That's too much. Wasn't ready for that. That's okay. What are the things that sound okay right now? And who are the people that are willing to do those things with you? And how can you let them know that this is what makes me feel better or doesn't make me feel worse? Is there one person? Is there one person that you can have the conversation with so you don't have to have it 100 times and that person can explain it to others? I do that for clients. I do that with them. There are some who want to be in the room and want to be there. And there are others who say, I don't even want to be there. Can you sit down and have that conversation with these people and then let me know how it goes? It's too much for me to even be in the room with you. Whatever works for you. But there are people who can help bridge that gap for you. Whatever works for you, it is about getting through it in the way that works for you, not the way that works for me or Tom, Dick, and Harry. It's different for each one of us, and it doesn't have to be any way that you don't want it to be. If you want to have the conversation yourself with every single person 100 times, please do. I did. Other people might not want to, but it is your journey and you get to decide. No one else decides for you. And I just want to acknowledge that there might be some things that are unfamiliar. You might not want to do things that you've loved your entire life, and that is absolutely okay. There might be new things that you're saying to yourself, when have I ever wanted to sit outside and play in the dirt? I loved doing anything outdoors with Sassy. And while I was taking her out and about and she was playing and roaming around for whatever reason, like I did when I was 4 years old, I sat in the grass and played with sticks in the dirt. And it did not make me feel worse. It helped me feel a little bit better. And that works for me. Whatever makes you not feel worse and makes you feel a little bit better is absolutely productive. And who knows what it will lead to down the road. I was finger painting at 3 in the morning because I couldn't sleep, and I was beating myself up for finger painting at 3 in the morning. Number one, I now use art as healing with clients. So that was extremely productive. I didn't know that then, but it also got me through those hours. It got me through the night when the rest of the world was sleeping and I wasn't on social media. I had no interest in any of that. And so I couldn't read, I couldn't listen to music, I couldn't watch TV. Those things didn't work for me. So finger painting did. That's valuable. That absolutely is so productive. So let's not judge ourselves. We certainly aren't judging each other. So why are we judging ourselves in ways that we would never, ever judge another? And look at me now using art as healing with clients. That's extremely productive. So who knows what you're doing and what it can lead to. It could be the next best thing that turns into some idea that you don't know. If it's getting you through the night, it's invaluable. It's priceless. So I just wanted to take some time today to mention that there are absolutely things that come up that it's not only other people who might be saying, Sam's acting a little bit different. This isn't the Sam we know. It might not be the Sam you know. I wasn't the Sam I knew. And there are parts of that Sam that are making me a better Sam today. And there are parts of the Sam, like there is now Sam who loves football games and concerts again. And those pieces do come back. There are some that don't. I love that type A, rigid, structured Sam did not come back. That's a part of me that I'm glad I let go of. There are things I learned through pausing and getting out in nature and slowing down that have made me better and learn to live differently in a way that I wanted to leave those parts back there. There might be parts of you that don't return. So it's a journey that's unfolding and you don't get to know the ending, as frustrating as that might be. I've learned that I don't want to know the ending anymore. I used to want to skip to the back of the book and find out. And now the not knowing is exciting and it's beautiful. And the not knowing can lead to so many great things. Of course, there's times we really want to know. I'd love to know, certain things that are down the road, but it's part of the slowing down and part of just living in this moment. It's part of being in the here and now and learning how to slow down. And so I just wanted you to know that if there are things going on with you that are new, that's okay. That's part of healing, and it's happening to everyone, and you'll understand it as the healing continues, and it won't be as unfamiliar, and you'll get used to it, and you're welcome to talk about it in this group and ask questions and see how other people have adjusted. I embrace it instead of letting it freak me out. It used to freak me out. I think the longer we are healing, the more we understand it. So those of you who are new, please feel free to reach out, ask questions, or just sit back and observe the beauty of this group and the beauty of Grief Hab. And the reason I created it is that I had so much pressure from the world and certain people in my world to heal a certain way and to get back to work and to do things a certain way. And I want each and every one of you to know that healing is about doing it your own way and listening to your body and listening to yourself and tuning out everything else and doing what works for you. And we are here to support and encourage you every step of the way. And even the unfamiliar parts, you will get through it. You will adjust and you will learn to understand it along the way, even when it's bumpy. I still have bumpy moments, days, weeks. We all do. And we are here for you. You're not alone. And until next week, tonight is Team Ruthless at 6 o'clock Mountain Time. Please know that you are invited. We would love to have you. I know it's scary to try something new. You're welcome to join us. We want to have you and hope to see you soon.